Okay, let's do this again. Okay, so I have binary to decimal to hex. My number was 10, 10, 10. Okay, so we explained in class going from binary to hex or vice versa is the easiest because it's just looking values up. You always start from the right because you might not have a full byte. So see here, I have one nibble for bits and I have just 2 bits here. So I have to start from this one. So 1010, I look it up, that's A, right here. Okay, so my most right digit is A, 10 is just 2, right? 10 is here, 2. Okay, so that's my hex, so that's easy. Okay, to go to decimal, I recommend you use hex. You could use binary. It's just a bit more math, not too much. I'll just show you using hex. So this is my position numbers. So 0, 1, put your bases, right? And then we're going to multiply those bases and then add them. Okay, so 16 to 0, that's just 1, right? So we're not going to do anything with that because times 1 is just going to give the number just to save time. So I get 2 times 16 plus A. A is 10 because it's the first letter in hex. It's right here. Okay, so it's 10 in decimal. Okay, so I got 32. Am I doing this right? 32 plus 10, right? So 42. Okay, so if I started from binary, I would get the same number here. Okay, next number. I had 199 in decimal. Let me just get comfortable here. Okay, so 199 decimal. I did say in class to not go to hex because it makes it a bit more challenging. So we'll go to binary. Okay, so I'm going to put 8 bits, right? And then I'm going to light them up as I need. Okay, so this position is worth 1. That's 2. That's 4. That's 8. That's 16. That's 32. 64. 128. Notice those values, right? They are exactly the values that you can buy your USB sticks in, right? And if we kept going, we would actually see the hard drives sizes, right? Because the next one is 256, and then you go to 512, and then you go to 1 terabyte, and so on, right? So this is where those values that the stores come from. It's because we're in base 2, right? Because binary is base 2. Okay, so I'm trying to have 199 represented in binary. So you start now from the left and you're going to light up every different bit as you need them, and then you're going to minus their values until you're done and you've exhausted all the value in there. So my biggest number is obviously this one, 128. So can I use another color? Ooh. Here. Oh, that won't be clear enough. Okay, so this one is getting lit up, right? Because 128. So I'm going to minus 128. What is that? 1, 7. So I'm left with 71. Did I do a mistake here? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Was that me circling? I guess it was. Okay, that's 8, right? 4, 8, that's right. That's my bar. Oh, okay, my apologies. 71. So 64 will go in. So I go 64. I'm left with 7. Right? Okay, so you want to make sure your numbers work. Okay, what's next? So I have now 1, 1, right? These two that are lit up. Obviously, 32 doesn't fit in 7, so 0 of that one. 16 obviously doesn't go in 7. 8 doesn't go. So I'm down to 4. Right? So it's this bit here. So this is going to be a 1. Right? So minus 4. That's 3. Now I will need both bits, right? Because that's my only way to get to 3, right? 2 plus 1. So they're going to be lit up. So that's my answer. What is that in hex? Well, I just look it up again. So this is my left digit, 1100. Where's that? Right here. So it's C. Sorry. And then 111, that's 7. So right here. So this is C7. Okay. I will need a new screen. Let's go new. Okay, so binary. Decimal, sorry, that was a D. To hex, that's my next one. AA in hex. Okay, so that should be pretty easy to find binary, right? Because I just find it on my table. So A is here, so this is 1010, right? So strange how every time I create those random tables, without knowing, I'm creating patterns, right? Like my first question was 10, 10, 10, and I actually gave you guys AA. And every time I do that, I give you guys patterns that show up that are interesting. Okay, now to get to decimal, I could start from hex or from binary. It doesn't matter. We'll start from here. So this is so 16 to the 0, right? So it's times 1. So this is just 10. That gets added to this one. This is 10 times 16. It's not easy writing on those. This is 160 plus 10, right? So 170. Okay, so this is 170. Okay. Next one. So 1 million, but in binary. So this is not a high number. Right? So I'll cut here to go to hex. So my right digit is obviously 0. 100, I think that's 4. Yeah. So my hex value for this is just 40. How do I get to decimal? I can do the same I just did here. Well, how about we just do this one, right? Because it's pretty simple. So the value of these here, this is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, right? So this bit is worth 64. That's the only bit. So my decimal value here has to be 64. Done. Okay, so now I do 100 in the middle here. Well, how about we cheat and try to find a neat way to get to the answer in binary that will involve just us thinking, right? Because we have this here at 64. There's 36 to go to here, right? So could we be smart about this? Well, how about we do this? I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to add 32 here, right? So 36 minus 32, I'm down to 4. And look, I have a bit here for 4. So I'll just put this one as on, and then we'll leave position 16 at 0, position 8 at 0, position 2 at 0, position 1 at 0. So this here, this is 100. And then I just find my hex value, 100 is 4, right? So my right value here, my nibble on my 4 bits are at 4. This is 110. What is that? 110, that's 6. Okay. Now look, that's strange. I didn't see that coming. Those two values are the same. And finally, BB. So BB, okay, do your binary because it's really straightforward. So B is 1011. Right, so you're going to write that twice. You've got 2 nibbles of 1011. And then decimal, well, how about we use this one to go to here, right? How about we do that? Okay, so we'll just use our values here. This was 1, 2, 4, we don't need it. 8, 16, 32, 60. Oh, yeah, did I do a mistake? No, that's because here I'm missing that 0 here. That's 64, but I don't need it. And so I go to 128, and I'm just going to add those values, right? So my value in decimal is going to be 128 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 3, right? 2 and 1, right? So what's that? Can I do that in my head? Wow, let's try. That's 16. 128, that's 160, right? That's 160, 176, 179, 187. So my number here should be 187. Let's just confirm that I have the right number. So 187 in decimal. Let's just find something on Google to convert decimal to X. So my number was 187. 187. So I should get BB. There we go. I got BB. And my numbers were right. 10, 11, 10, 11. Okay, got it. Perfect. So we would be done.